to Baby Witch. Really excited to show you guys a little bit of what I've learned so far about tarot. We're gonna break it down in what I feel are the fundamentals and the basics of tarot. So first we have our major arcanas. Our major arcanas look like this. They have a character, they have a name underneath, and they go from 0 to 22. Right now we have this, for example, which is the High Priestess. They represent the story of the card 0. 0 being the fool who takes a leap of faith into living its life to its fullest and goes through all these lessons. Those are the major arcanas. They represent lessons and cycles. Now, we go into the minor arcanas. The minor arcanas are everyday situations. Everyday situations that go back and forth that can be altered to a simple decision. The only things that we have control of is how we react and how we act, right? So the only things that we have control of changing is the minor arcana. So when you get a minor arcana, you know that you can do something to change that. When it comes to major arcanas, you can only either learn your lesson or not learn your lesson, which tells you whether it's going to repeat or not. Okay, so then those are divided in 4 suits. The 4 elements are a big deal, at least for the way I learned tarot. For me, learning what each element meant, so what each suit meant, allows me a lot to find the perspective that I'm going to give through my intuition and knowledge, like book knowledge of each interpretation. So cups, emotions, water. Water is meant to be fluid, right? It's anything that is an emotional state, anything that expresses my emotional needs and the emotions being involved, whether it's grief, whether it's pain, whether it's love, whether it's gratefulness, whether it's not letting go of something we're so attached to emotionally, or holding on to something, or celebrating love, celebrating victory. All of these emotions are all in the cards that are of the suit of cups. And then we have swords. Okay, swords are represented by the element of air. Element of air, it's all about conflict. There is logic. There is intelligence, there is psychic abilities. So it's also rationality. It's being able to work things out and be slick and through the things and be like, no, this is what rationality is telling me. So in this card, we can see how someone is full of conflict and they're not holding any rationality. So they're just in fear, right? They're alone, they're crying. They don't see that they have all of this conflicts. They're just putting their conflicts to the side and not using their rationality. So conflict is also a way to push our brains to develop a different kind of logic and a strategical plan to do things. Now, we have coins. Coins are earth, most known as pentacles or disc. An element of earth is the element of all of the material stuff. So, and this has to do more with root chakra stuff, right? Root chakra is what brings our sense of safety. Pentacles are the element of earth, and they represent all of the material. But beyond all of the material, in order for us to feel safe and secure, we need shelter, therefore we need money, therefore we need a job, therefore we might need education. Anything that it's along those lines. Now there's attachments to all of this, and that's where all these cards come in, right? Material ramp is not only the money, the kashin, is where our instinct, our primal values, primal instincts tell us that we need in order to survive and feel secure. We need connection, we need shelter, we need food. Okay? By connection, you can also add sex. So then we have the wands. Wands are actions. Here we see a man taking a bunch of actions. If each of this was an action that we took to get to where we need to go, this man is carrying them all and taking them somewhere. But they are represented by the element of fire. And the element of fire it's healing. It's transformation. Fire transforms from solid to gas to God knows what the fuck what, because I'm not a fucking scientist, but it has all of the elements in it, right? It has vapor, it has all of it, and it can transform anything. Fire can transform, fire can rebuild, fire can heal. A lot of the times we see it as destructive, right? But it also comes to get rid of the old and bring in the new as well. So fire is all about the ignition for us to get stuff done. It's actions that we take. And it's also healing. The royal suits are personalities. We have the queen, the knights, the pages, the aces, and the kings. I don't know if the aces are royal, but the aces itself are beginnings. New emotional beginning, new beginning into actions that we need to take, new beginning into our healing, new beginning into our material realm, into money, into, you know, it's all beginnings, and it depends on what suit it has in here, because remember, we just learned what each suit was, right? So then we have pages. Pages are messages. They bring us a message of how we can act out. It's like if we go into a journey, is we're in the journey of life. First, we see the opportunity to go into the beginning, and then we start taking action into going to the beginning, and our messages start coming in. You know, it's like, okay, now we have realizations, and we're like, oh wow, I can do this. We have the energy of the page. Now, the energy of the page can also be upside down, and that's a whole another deal when reading cards upside down as well. I suggest that you learn them all. And then we have the queen and the king, which represent both feminine and masculine energy. We all have it all, right? So in this deck, it's all of it together. So we have the kings that represent the outwards energy, the energy with an action in the material realm, because that's what masculine energy is in tarot. And then we have the feminine energy that is more about, I want to think and create and evaluate things and nurture them and push them to be better. And then there's the masculine energy where it's just like, I'm gonna guide them to be better and physically make and push their body. It's almost like the queen is all about the brain and the love, and the king is all about the strain and the actual action, the physical action. So those are those two energies, and when upside down, they could be positive or they could be negative, okay? And then after that, we have the knights. So I should have put the knights right after the pages. So right after the pages is like, we've learned something, we have the idea, we get the message, and then boom, we go and do it, but we're not quite there yet, but we're like, oh, we already know a couple of things, so we're gonna go and do them. That's the kind of personality that this represents. This is like a graduate, someone who just graduated, someone who's about to start college, someone who decided they wanted to go to college, ace. Someone who is like, oh, I know what I want to go to college for. Someone who is graduating college, and then someone who has been practicing their career for a long time, okay? There's also the numerology that you can get familiar with, and there's also the colors and the symbols in it that you can look into, but that will be another story.
Chitches got red.